Do you want to work in Japan but not have to be a language teacher? How about working as a driver? Under Japan's Specified Skilled Worker Program, foreigners will be able to work as taxi drivers, bus drivers, or even truck drivers in Japan. This is a golden ticket opportunity for those who wish to someday work and live in the country. As an effort to address the country's shrinking population, this opens up the field for foreigners who want jobs in Japan that are not limited to teaching English to Japanese students. Now, to be fair, Japan's taxi industry is in a lot of trouble. It's not exactly the number one choice as a career for the younger generation, which is why the average age of taxi drivers in Japan is 58. The demand for taxis has also decreased over time, and with the COVID pandemic, which limited tourism significantly, there just weren't enough passengers to go around, which caused many taxi drivers to leave the industry. Back in 2011, Japan had 340,000 taxi drivers, but just 10 years later, that number has dropped to about 220,000. However, now that the tourism is back in full swing, to the point that Japan is experiencing over-tourism issues, the demand for taxis, buses, and trucks has come back even stronger than ever before. Hence, there is a very urgent need to fill the gap between supply and demand. Being able to drive around Japan and get paid to do it sounds like a dream come true, and it just might be as long as you have a solid understanding of the Japanese language. This is going to be the biggest challenge to many non-Japanese speakers because in order to drive a taxi, bus, or truck commercially, you'll need a Class 2 driver's license, which has a written test that's only in Japanese. The need to be able to speak the language also goes beyond the license test, as drivers often work solo and might be miles away from the company when they run into language barriers. Unlike having an office or being a factory worker who can ask a nearby Japanese co-worker for help, drivers don't have that luxury. Plus, navigating Japanese streets and highways can be a real puzzle, with most streets having no names and buildings not following any logical numbering system. So, drivers will often need to communicate with passengers to get them where they want to go. But all is not lost because Japan's Ministry of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism is looking into creating educational materials and reorganizing testing standards to cover things like customer communication scenarios and proper handling of cargo. After all, how do they expect anyone to be able to fill the driver gap in the market if it means having to climb over a Mount Fuji-sized challenge to get the license? Would you be interested to apply as a driver in Japan? Let me know what you think. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.